I'd like Ken to come up here and talk to us a little bit and introduce one of our candidates that's running. Ken Winters, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you can tell that from one campaign to another, I continue to struggle keeping my voice strong enough for you to hear me, but I'll apologize and keep going anyway. Shirley says you don't give me an open invitation like that and expect me to be brief, so I won't be. Let me emphasize and say on behalf of all of you, thank you to Greg and Peggy and all of those that have worked in the GOP headquarters and all over the community to make this event and the successful runs that some of us have had in the past. I don't know what we would have done without this support structure. And just think about the fact that each of the 7 counties that Stan will be representing come January have organizations like you, and I just can't tell you how important they are. So please don't just because you'll have a new senator or maybe a better one than you have now, but certainly he will need your support just like you have me all these years. So we want you to work at that. Let me just comment about how important this election is. I know if Ed Whitfield gets here before you leave, he'll want to do that also. But you've heard me say on numerous occasions, this election this year is the most important one that we've seen in a long time. And that's been true when I've said that. I felt that about it. But I can tell you now, all of those pale in comparison to the one that's facing us right now. This is a critical campaign, critical race, critical election for all of America, not just Kentucky, all of America. So it's so important that we all stand up on the kind of beliefs that we have, and when we see them threatened, we have to take action. We have to take action. You know, if you look at how many people we have serving us in Washington, including all of the Senate and the House and the President and the Supreme Court, let's say, all those together, we've got 500 some odd people up there. There's 311 million of us, folks. There's 311 million of us. Yeah. So there's no reason to allow things to happen in our country that we're not comfortable with. We have an obligation. Our Constitution, which we seem to ignore a little bit lately, our Constitution tells us how we're to perform. And it even says something like, Congress of the United States will never pass a law that affects the people that doesn't affect them the same way. Now think about that one. I'm not going to elaborate on that anymore, but you see we have got to get control of our country again. And the only way to do that is to go to that poll. And don't just go and don't just feel bad that morning and decide not to go. Don't let your schedule keep you away. Don't let anything keep you from calling your neighbors and your friends and saying, look, this is important. Our future may be at stake. The kind of America that we have now may be at stake. So I want you to be aggressive about trying to marshal all the forces we have to get out and elect the kind of candidates that represent the feelings that we have about our state, about our district, about our country. They're just commenting about my Senate one license plate out there. You know, health in the family is not going to let me go on, but I will have to say I have a lot of work at Frankfurt that I wanted to get done before I left. Then I happened to realize that if I was 100 years old now, that's still possible. If I was 100 years old now, I'd leave up there and I'd say, there's so many things I wanted to get done yet. So the way for me to get beyond that is to have someone like Stan Humphrey running to represent me and represent you. And he'll do it in such a way that we'll all be proud of it. I have enjoyed working with Judge Executive from Trigg County. Trigg County is a great center for conservative beliefs, and to see him rise in that, to see his county grow and do the things that we all celebrate was a joy to me. But then when this time came for me to this seat. Stan came to mind as a person that really is the kind of person that I could be excited about having in Frankfort representing us. His family is a champion family, a wonderful wife and 3 children that work like a team, and that's what it takes. You can't have a person in that seat, male or female, without a family being affected dramatically by it. So he has that support structure. And in the parades, we've paraded virtually every week in 1 or 2 parades, and to see his mother there, see his sister, see all the children, everybody there playing their role in the parade is it just kind of warmed me to watch that kind of team effort to make it happen. Stan is going to be a great senator for us, and he has the kind of concern about education, about agriculture, about economic development, and believe me, he's experienced them from his role as a judge executive. He even knows what happens, what you have to do when you have a big ship that knocks out one of his big bridges over, and our big bridges. So he was really a wonderful asset to us as he promoted a resolution of that problem with the bridge. So I appreciate that. I'm honored today. But before I do that, let me make one last thing. Had I not run for office, the people like you in all those other 7 counties, even if I had lost my first or my second run, the people like you, the grassroots that work so hard for me, I may never have known some of them had I not run for office. So it's the same thing for Stan here. You know, most of you knew me and I knew you as a general statement, but that's not true for Stan. He would not have known you. So it's a great privilege to him to get to know 7 different county representations and his development as a human being. So I'm honored to have served you for 8 years. Certainly you're key to that happening for a while. You were for me and will be for Stan too. So we have to work hard. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent you. I put on a lot of miles and eaten a lot of barbecue and a lot of fried fish and so forth during that time. But I've enjoyed every bit of it. And I want to present to you now the next senator from Kentucky District 1, Mr. Stan Humphrey, Judge Stan Humphrey.